Hello, welcome to the SDGs Lead. My name is Karyna Radchenko. I'm the founder of Partnership for Advancing Sustainability, where we try to promote best stories and best practices. And today we have very special edition from Reykjavik, from Iceland. And it's a great honor to talk with Stephanie Doze, the speaker of Senate of Belgium. Thank you so much for joining.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here. I'm happy to have met you, a young woman who's trying to make a difference. So happy to talk to you.
It's because of such role models like you promoting this gender equality approach and this women approach to politics. Could you please say some words on what motivated you initially to step into this particular field?
Well, I must say when I started in politics 20 years ago, I started as a collaborator for politicians. Then I started that politics was in Belgium. There were all men. And the few women that were involved into politics were like small men, you know, they didn't want to talk about the fact that they are women in politics and they are proud of it. And now during the past 20 years, I saw the difference and I saw the mentality change. And now I hope that I'm at a level that when young girls are seeing politicians, they're like, we see a girl in politics and we see a man and a boy in politics, and they're just equally the same. I must say, on the fact on legislative level, Belgium has reached the schedule or let's say the stage where everything is equal.
Are there quotas?
Yes, we made a lot of changes. We have quotas. So if you're a candidate on the list, the half of the list has to be men from the other sex, so man or female. And also at the top of the list, you have to make changes. So you have man, female, female. So that makes the fact that the half of our parliament is female. So it's very good.
Great.
That's very
great.
good. That's very great. But if you then look further, because you can say, oh, that's great, good. But if you then look further, the head of commissions or standing committees are men. The head of the fraction leaders are men. The head of political parties are mostly all men. So now we are at the stage where the level is the same and everything what we did in legislature we did. But if you want to go further now, you really have to go deep and go to the mental level of people, I guess.
Speaking about the mental level,
Yes.
what would be your piece of advice and maybe even some life hacks to share on how to overcome these challenges? Because it comes from the mind. Sometimes women
Yes.
are prevented from even running for the election because of thinking, oh, there are some barriers.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
could not, but in fact we can do everything if we
can
believe.
do. Yes, if we believe, and that's why I think it's so important to have ambassadors of me telling my story, how I became the youngest president of the Senate ever, you know, and that is, I also had my barriers, and I still have them, you know, when I sometimes go to a conference. I go to a lot of conferences, of course, for representing my country, and I have my collaborator with me, who is a man. They always give you these kind of badges, and here you can see. And as president of Senate, I was at a conference in Japan a few weeks ago. If you're a president, they give you a golden badge. If you're a collaborator, they give you a blue badge. Guess where I was going? I went to the badge collection together with my collaborator. Of course, my collaborator got the golden badge. It's always the same, and it was a young girl behind the desk. And I said, can I ask you something? Why did you give him the golden badge? And she was like, President of the Senate must be a man. He was like, oh my God, do you really think so? So I started talking to her, and then after 5 minutes, there was a long line after us, I'm sorry for that. And after 5 minutes,
She changed the mind completely.
She changed the mind. So it's because with convincing people, telling the story, telling my story, how it all went, and you know, how the difficulties I had to conquer, because it is still a struggle. It is still a struggle because there are some studies that women, if they are on social media, they get 20% more angry,
like hate speech,
20% more than men, you know. So there are still some problems, but on the other hand, if we stay strong together, we can achieve that. And the second thing I want to say is that I don't remember. I think it was Margaret Thatcher who said it. There is a special place in hell reserved for women who don't support other women.
Absolutely, like to keep up with this support and empowerment.
Absolutely. Sisterhood is so important.
The peace for all the countries, not the least for Ukraine, is fundamental for every human. Could you please share your personal vision of what does peace mean for you and how it relates to overall sustainability? Maybe it's not just only the absence of war, but how you feel it.
Yes, I must be honest. I never thought about a lot of peace before the war in Ukraine, and that's crazy because no, it's not crazy. It was I'm 41 years old. We were never confronted with war. In my generation never had, and we saw war at television, and then we were confronted with war when we were thinking about what happened during World War I and World War II and on the commemoration days. Then we thought about it, and then 1 year ago we were confronted with the terrible things that were happening in your country and in Ukraine. And it was the first time I was thinking, like, oh my God, what's going on so close to home? Everything what was going on. And then there was a female politician who was holding a shrapnel, you know, a shrapnel that the Russian soldiers, and she gave it to me. She gave it to me as a commemoration on saying this is what war means. And so for me it was like I became really emotional, and the fact that I'm really proud of my country and on the European Union on how we try to help. And now we are building in Ghent. We talked earlier about my hometown in Ghent. We are building a village for Ukrainian people, for around 600 people, where there will be education, there will be psychological help, there will be everything. And I'm so proud of my city that we are doing that. That we are not saying, oh, we don't have place, but that we are saying we will create more place.
It's a really great practice from Ghent. And Ghent is overall very, very innovative.
Yes, absolutely.
What does it mean for you to live in Ghent, like you previously lived as a city councillor? What does it mean, like in terms of so many like bicycles, so many sustainable projects, which is felt when you just enter the city from the train station?
Yes, I'm very proud of my city, you know, but it is a city where everything happens, you know, and it doesn't happen for a chance, you know. We are the biggest university city from Belgium, and that's why there is also so much innovation, because the students stay there. They look for a job there. Then companies know that there are a lot of people who are having a diploma who are coming there, and so it becomes a whole mismatch, let's say, or not a mismatch, but a whole thing of people are living together. And then you have to, as a city council, you have to make decisions that we banned the cars from the city. In the beginning, people were like, "What? Are you crazy?" And now everybody's very happy that we don't have cars anymore in the center of the city.
No cars. Only bicycles.
Only bicycles, yes, and by foot, of course. And also, we have a very big culture way of living. You know, culture is a very important thing of our private life. So everybody's coming together, and that's also always the biggest difference with Bruges. Bruges has also his medieval buildings, you know, but Ghent has its medieval buildings, but when you walk around, let's say 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, there's always people who are walking around. There's always life in the city. There's always a big atmosphere of people.
Feeling of the city.
Yes, voilà, the feeling of the city. And it is because a great part, of course, of the students who are living there and being there the whole time of the week.
So it's young simultaneously and preserving traditions like this Ghent Altary and Masterpiece.
Voilà. It's of course respecting our tradition, you know, respecting our old buildings and what everything's going on there, but on the other hand, also like now we are having lots of churches. Now in the church is coming supermarkets, you know, because so we try to be innovative and see and look for other things. So
yeah,
I'm
and
very
this
happy.
way of payment, for instance, in the shops, when you don't give to the cashiers, but you use these machines, automatic machines, at least at some shops.
Yes, absolutely. They call it the shop and go, and we try to do everything that people are coming to Ghent. They want to shop because in the beginning, when we banned the cars from city center, everybody's like, we don't want to come to Ghent anymore. We go shopping elsewhere, and now everybody's going back. So.
Thank you very much for your insights. The last but not the least, what would be your message to girl leaders worldwide and also in particular refugees from Ukraine, other countries, like how to keep up going internally, just on this mental level that you mentioned?
Yeah, I understand completely. You just have to, sometimes we girls and we women, we sometimes think, oh, I'm not strong enough, and there's another girl or another boy who's better than me. Don't think so. Don't ever feel that way. Keep the strength, find the strength wherever it is. It is in your pink or in your small toe. You have the strength, and the only thing is what you had to do is believe in yourself. It sounds very easy, and I know it's not. But if you are having that difficulty, think of my words and know one day you will get there.
Thank you very much for watching us. I hope this message would empower you and you will continue moving regardless all the odds. And we are here always to support you, at least through such kind of video messages to empower and uplift and unleash your potential. Thank you very much. It's great pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.